let's get started. Yung mga natutunan natin. Wait na, let's go ahead, bro. So, konting ano lang, no? Konting review lang sa mga naral natin, no? Okay. So far we learn, alam natin kung paano gumamit ng components, and props, and, events. We also learn paano gumamit ng expressions, and just plain closing them to curly braces. We also learn how to use states, hooks, no? And states, hooks, tapos natutunan din natin kung paano gumamit ng and others, and many more. So, today is Sunday. We will use these concepts in React and natutunan natin to build a very basic to-do application na very expandable siya, no? So yeah, start building that. Okay, so I have a plain folder in here, and I will open my terminal in here. So terminal or any other application. So meron akong CMD or PowerShell, kung naka-Windows ka, pwede yun. Kung naka Linux-based distribution, syempre gagamit ka ng terminal. Or kung naka-Mac ka, macOS, you can use any other terminal as long as you're comfortable working with it, because working with terminals in web development and software engineering also is very important. Siya yung isa sa mga hindi mawawala eh. So yeah, so we'll start. So we will start creating a plain project. Got it. So we will start creating a default project in here. So we will use feed. Concept about perspectives about state management. It is hindi siya advanced. Hindi siya advanced, no. Hindi siya basic, no. Medyo advanced na siya. But yun, yan. Yung false mating is yung muna, basics. But yeah, kaya darating tayo sa part na yun. Alongside using TypeScript with React. But for now, for starters, and some sort of refresher, if you know React, for others, you can use this. You can follow along, no. So yeah, we will use this package manager and guide. I have getting started in here. So we will use package manager. So for package manager is again para siyang Play Store for developers to download other applications na kailangan sa project na. So I will use npm. Before, and again, ulitin ko ulit to, no, yung site na to, no. So if you're starting out in web development and other stuff in technology, so I definitely highly recommend this site, Developer Roadmaps. It's basically a collection of different roadmaps for structured learning. So you have roadmap for front development. I suggest if you want to start with development, ito yung gamitin yung roadmap. So nandito lahat ng mga sinabi ko na HTML, CSS, yung npm and yarn, yung other stuff na kailangan natin before starting React. So yeah, here's this. And marami din silang dito, roadmap dito. Meron silang for computer science, for engineering, for AI, and other stuff, which is also meron silang roadmap for React. So yeah, so we will create a project based on this. Then I will paste in here. I will enter. Sorry, hindi pala ako naka dito, npm. Apologies. I will use npm create fit. And then magiging isa sa atin ng name, no. So sa name, wait pala muna, and then yung name na yan. So yung name niya is to do. And then React. We use React for kasi just like what I said kanina, pwede mo gamitin yung Vue for creating other projects. For example, if you want to create HTML CSS in JavaScript project, you would select vanilla. Again, for Vue, it's a front framework similar to Angular for building user interfaces. You could use Vue, select Vue, React, React, siya yung lightweight version ng React, no? Lit, I believe, isa siyang templating agent, Lit, or parang hybrid siya ng templating agent tsaka ng HTML, some sort of ganun, or framework, UI framework. Svelte is a compiler. Solid is yun, any other stuff as well. But yeah, we'll just React. And we'll just JavaScript for now, no, for starters. So yeah, we'll change directory to that folder just to do. And then we'll say npm install to install that lahat ng packages na kailangan for React. So lagyan lang yan. Close this out. Thank you for Waffle. So yan, installing na siya, and then what else? So kanya mag-open siya dito. Ito na yung directory natin, yung overall structure ng project. Iisa-isa natin to yung mga laman yan. Kasi tingin ko fundamental din yun. So yeah, I will close this. Yun, nag-install lang siya ng packages. Wait natin siya matapos. Yeah, everything's working good. Medyo matagal siya, but yeah, medyo marami kasi siyang dependencies, but yeah, I will explain yung laman niya later. So clear, and then npm open ko yung VS Code ko dito which is code, and then that. So basically yung code is yung command ng VS Code in sa terminal. So if I type code and then that, sabihin open mo yung VS Code, i-open mo yung folder na to sa VS Code. Shortcut lang yan. But yeah, you can manually open VS Code. Alright. Then I will change my profile sa VS Code to professional. So ayan, meron siyang update, VS Code update. So you can ignore that. But yeah, I suggest sometime in the future, if you're also using VS Code, you can definitely check it out kung ano yung mga bago na. For example, this one, activity over position. Kasi sometime in the future, napaka-useful niya, utilizing VS Code as well, and how learning those shortcuts is something na rewarding in the future kasi mas mapapabilis ang development mo. So yan. I will close this. Change the professional to profile. So yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good now. So before we start coding, wait lang, nag-loading pa yung mga extensions. May delay ng content. Okay, so habang initin siya matapos, hindi ko na yung mga questions. Yes, i-post naman siya devs sa announcement, yung mga links. Kasi right now, pinag-compile namin sila, Pero don't worry, kapag natapos tong project ko, ipopost ko sa GitHub, and then I will share it agad sa inyo, para malaki yung sources, and why not to tweak it to add more features on that basic to-do application. But yeah, don't worry for that. Alongside other mentors, so i-upload naman siya sa YouTube kasi may binubuo kaming team for YouTube and other stuff. So yeah, binibuild namin siya. So ngayon pa lang. But yeah, that's guaranteed. Post naman siya, don't worry. So, ang tagal mag-update. Daming kasing extension na nakasala. No. Sabi cancelled. So yeah, okay na kaya? Or loading pa rin? So yeah, yan. Explain ko muna no yung laman ng isang basics ng other stuff dito no na pwede makita no. Kasi gumagawa natin ng application. So I think explaining stuff in mga simpleng folder na to is importante ngayon pa lang. Kasi ito mga files na to commonly is makikita natin sila in other projects no. So yeah, I will explain it. So ano yung pinaka-importante dito sa files na to? Yung package JSON, right? When you are creating a project using in JavaScript world, so napaka-importante ng package JSON. Basically, package JSON is just like a manifesto. So for example, di ba yung mga nagde-deliver ng appliances, meron silang parang checklist nung sa whiteboard. So yung manifesto na yun, nung mga i-deliver nila is para siyang package JSON. So basically, package JSON is just a directory ng mga packages na needed ng isang project. For example, this is a React project using Vite. So ito yung listahan ng mga packages na needed ni React para gumana siya using Vite. And the Vite as well, no? And other dependencies. So ito yung related application na kailangan para mapag-start ka ng application. Basically, just think of that as package JSON, no? Isa siyang listing, isa siyang manifesto ng mga dependencies na dapat and other important stuff about and other important info about sa project. For example, yung name, to do, hindi yung privacy niya, hindi yung version. So, understanding those is napaka-importante, no? And then yung scripts na ito yung command na ginagamit to initiate or to start this project, no? So, mamaya, kapag mag-start na tayo, itong dev command is yung gagamitin natin to start this project, no? But yeah, for now, just think of it as package JSON is just a listing or basically overall information about sa project niya, no? So, napaka-importante niya. For now, yun muna yung tandaan nyo. And then, ito kasing mga to, other files dito, no? Ito kasing ESLint, hindi lahat ng project may ESLint. But basically, i-explain ko muna yung mga general. Mamaya, ipapalimanan ko yung mga hindi, no? Getignore is basically isa siyang file in which ito yung mga file na i-ignore ng Git para hindi siya ma-push sa GitHub. Basically, may mga files kasi na dapat private, no? Na hindi dapat siya isinasa publiko, no? So ito yung isinasa publiko for different purposes, for example, for privacy. So yung mga files na yun na dapat private lang is nilalagay sa Gitignore. And also yung mga folders and files na dapat hindi talaga siya pinupush sa GitHub for aside from security purposes, yung performance, no, ng application. So basically yun lang siya, no. So yung listahan na to, ito yung mga files na hindi ipupush sa GitHub for that particular reasons. So Gitignore, yung Gitignore tsaka yung package JSON tsaka yung package lock. Ito yung mga types ng files na always nyo makikita in web development world when creating projects, no. So napaka-importante na ngayon pa lang ma-familiarize na natin yung mga to. Package lock is basically ito yung comprehensive list na package JSON. Ito yung mas comprehensive version niya, no? So they are coexisting. Most of the time never natin gagalawin itong yung package lock, no? Kasi ang nagmamanage na yan is yung package manager natin, which is yung npm yun, no? So hindi suggested na may galawin ka dito unless alam mo yung ginagawa mo. But most of the time, never mo ito gagalawin. Yung package JSON naman, ito lang siyang, yun nga, listing siya, no? Listing ng mga application or ng mga stuff about that particular project. Most of the time, ang gagalawin mo lang dito is yung name, tsaka yung privacy, tsaka yung type niya. And then, syempre yung scripts, kung gusto mong gumawa ng custom scripts when to manipulate this project. Pwede ka mag-edit ng custom script, for example. Gusto mo ditong mag mag ano, mag-push sa GitHub for every changes, no? Pwede yun. And then dependencies, ito rin. Medyo hindi mo to dapat galawin, no? Kasi ito yung pinaka-sensitive sa package JSON. So most of the time hindi mo to gagalawin unless alam yung ginagawa mo. But most of the time, yes. Hindi ko gagalawin. And yeah, yun yung tatlo na popular, no? Ito kasi mga to is project specific. So for example, ang ibig sabihin sa project specific, hindi sila generally makikita sa lahat ng project, no? Ito kasing Vite, makikita mo lang to kapag yung isang project is ginagamit yung Vite. Pero kung di naman, hindi mo siya makikita. But still, doon pa rin yung package JSON, package lock, and then git ignore. Kasi ano yun general files yan. Ito kasi mga to, what do you call this? Yun nga, project related files, or mostly for configuring that particular or for tawag ito, settings in which hindi siya general, no? But yeah, depende sa project. And ito din yung ESLint. So kung ESLint basically isa siyang tool na ginagamit para mas maganda yung code natin, no? Mas malinis siya, no? Mas hindi siya sa bugs. So yan, again, ano din to, project specific. Hindi lahat ng project may gumagamit ng ESLint kasi. So yun yung mga project specific. Ito din yung readme, general siya, no? So kapag ipupush mo siya sa GitHub, parang ito yung mag-display dun sa for example this one. Wait lang, gamitin natin repository yung GitHub. Ano bang popular repository? Siyempre Linux, kasi open source ang Linux. Ay, hindi pala. GitHub kernel, Linux kernel. And for example yan, ito yung Linux kernel, no? Ito yung proof na open source siya. Yan yung proof na open source siya, no? Dami niyang files. So yung readme file, kapag yung project mo is meron siyang readme, dito siya magre-reflect kung ano yung nakalagay sa readme. For example, this text, meron siyang readme. Kung ano yung nakalagay dyan, mag-display siya dito. So napaka-important ng readme to tell other people about this particular project, kung ano ba siya, kung anong para saan ba siya, no? So yan, ginagamit yung readme for that purposes, to basically to tell other people na okay, ito yung information about this project. So yun, and then yung mga files niya, and then yung readme, which is this one. So yeah, ito yung mismong kernel ng Linux, no? So ito yung proof na open source siya, which is by originally the author, Linus Torvalds. Okay, so I think okay na tayo sa mga parts niyo, no? Let's proceed on actual building or application. So when using Vite, may mga may mga default files na generate. So let's run this application muna, no? By saying npm run dev. So basically yung dev command na yun, yung mga tinatype ko ditong commands to manipulate this project is nakalista dito sa may package JSON, which is this one. So scripts. So sabi ko npm run dev. Pag in-enter ko siya, mag-open yung server para ma-visualize yung project natin, no? So yun yung purpose nun. So for example, kasi yun lang yan, yung mga commands na natin-type dito para ma-manipulate yung project na to is available sa file na to, which is package JSON under scripts. Yun. So basically, to start the application, we will type that command npm run dev, and yeah, mag-open siya ng server para sa atin. Ayan, so sabi dito Vite, so yung project natin is ready in couple of 1 milliseconds, and then available siya dito sa link na yan. So we will type in sa browser. I will say localhost 5173. Ayan, so ito yung project natin. Ito yung default Vite project, no? So congratulations, meron tayong project. So yan, as a proof. So yeah, reactive siya, no? But yeah, dito yung gagawin natin. So let's change this file. So opening ko to folder na to alongside this one, kasi hindi naman sila kailangan. And then this one, I will delete this as well. And ko na lang to. And then up to JSX, we will start from scratch now, something fresh. Then I will say, no, sorry, whoops. Then I will list this state, everything in here. We will delete it. Let's start something from scratch, as well as in this file. Di ko siya delete kasi may reason. And then, ano ba? Sige, tama na to. Ako na yan. So yeah, let's start building. So, una mo nang gagawin is, gagawa muna tayo ng folders, no? To group our files. So I have components. I have containers. Ano lang muna for now. Components lang muna. Hold on. So yun. So ito yung browser natin, no? So let's start something from scratch, something fresh. And then ito yung index.html, which is yung stuff na kailangan mong i-edit. Pero kung mag-build ka ng React, wala ka masyadong gagawin dito sa part na to. Automatic, kapag gusto mong ibahin yung title, ay ibahin natin siya, for example, to do. So lalabas yung to do. And then let's delete this other stuff na hindi naman kailangan. And then ito, sa V2, alam ko hindi mo ito pwedeng i-delete yung file ito kasi ito yung source on this particular project, which is main. So yung siya yung parang starting point ng React application sa context ng feed. So yeah, don't remove this. Yung other stuff na pwede, which is yung title, and then yung sa part ng head, which is yung icons kanina. So yeah, okay na siya, no? But all the hard work, we will do it in this source folder. So yeah, start. Una mong gagawin natin is sa index.css, just to test things out. I will say here body, and then background color. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is black. Okay, black. Black to siya, no? Wow, magic. And then gagamit tayo ng magandang font. So I will upload. We will use Google Fonts for that. Gagamit tayo ng magandang font, no? Google Fonts. So basically, guys, Google Fonts, pwede kayo gumamit ng fonts for your projects, no? So tutunan ko yung paano siya gamitin. So Google Fonts. Ano magandang font? Siyempre, Inter. I will type here. Ito. Marami ito pa na pagpilian sa project, no? Lot of free. Lahat yan open source as well. Gamit tayo ng Inter. So Inter yung gagamitin kong project ay font. And then ang gagamitin kong parang some sort of yung kapal niya, no, or yung weight, yung kapal. Ito yung gagamitin natin. So ito yung gagamitin ko yung 400. Select 400. Then pagka-select mo dito, meron kong option dito kung paano mo siya gagamitin. For now, para mas simple, I will select import, and then yung code dito, no, I will copy it, import. Para mas madali lang, no, and then I will paste it in here para magamit natin siya. And then I will say gagamit tayo ng selector na to, which is to select all, and then explain ko siya mamaya, no? And then gagamit ko, sasabihin ko dito before, and I will say after, right? And then so basically sa CSS ang ini-imply lang ito is lahat ng HTML element yung parang tinatarget niya. In this case, gusto ko siyang maging para hindi tayo mahirapan yung box sizing, border box. So ibig sabihin ng ito, guys, no, itong property na to is ginagamit basically just to hindi tayo mahirapan in terms of styling and laying things out pag gumamit tayo ng flexbox and grid. So ito yung ginagamit, no. So yeah, para mas mapadali yung pag-style natin, wala tayong makitang unforeseen CSS behavior. So yun yung ginagamit. Okay, yeah, reset. So sa part yun ng reset. So basically, guys, explain ko na ba to? Reset. Sige, huwag muna. Both na tayo sila. So I'll explain yung about sa CSS resets. But basically, guys, in CSS kasi yung mga browser kasi, 'di ba, meron silang mga default styles. So, yung default styles ng browser, yung iba doon hindi maganda. So, we need to do something, no, to remove those default styles para hindi tayo mahirapin dalawanan. But yun lang yung basically yan. Yung CSS reset is basically removing those bad default styling para mas padali yung buhay natin in terms of designing stuff. So yeah, sa part siya ng CSS resets. If you are curious about that, sige, saka na lang. Saka na send yung resource for that. But yeah, focus na tayong building React application. So yan. What else? So yan, iba yung background color niya, no? And then, I will say, anong gagawin dito is yung font. So lahat sila gusto kong gawin. Hindi. Gusto ko lang is yung, ito lang, yung lahat ng elements na yan. Basically, itong before tsaka after is siya so the selector to select the element before this particular element. But yeah, don't worry about that too much. I will say here yung font family. And I will say yung font kanina, which is yung inter, which is yung ito, yung import natin sa Google Docs. And then system UI. So ano tong mga to, no? Ito yung default font natin. So ba't pa tayo may isang font? Basically, ginagawa yung secondary font para just in case itong font na to is hindi siya maging available. Ang gagamitin, ang i-recognize na font ng application natin is yung default fonts ng application kung saan siya nag-run. For example, sa cellphone mo, ang default na font is Roboto. Yung inter hindi siya gumana. So gagamitin niya yung Roboto, yung system font niya. I highly recommend this fallback na. Ang tawag dito is fallback font. So, yeah. Maganda na yun just in case na hindi, kasi yung default font kasi ng mga browsers yung Times New Roman. So, hindi siya maganda, no? So, para mas maging maganda pa rin yung font ng application kahit hindi maging available tong inter font, let's use this collection of fonts which is system UI. Don't worry, meron naman siyang shortcut, no? For example, sa VS Code, pag tanip mo dito, system UI, automatic may lalabas siya na recommendation, and you must hit enter. Ayun, okay na siya, no? And then, para mas maganda yung selection natin, I will say here, selection, and then I will say background color is white 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then color is black 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so basically selection is yung ito, for example yung blue. So kapag mamaya i-explain ko siya, no? Mamaya pag meron siyang element. So yeah, ilagay ko siya, and then yun, start natin maglagay ng element. Okay, in this app, so we'll start adding some stuff sa browser. So in here, I will say return, and then I will say main. So bakit main? In kasi guys, no, in HTML kasi, no, in web development world, yung mga developers ng internet or yung mga engineers ng internet or ng web, yung mga nag-maintain ng web, yung mga gumagawa ng standards in the World Wide Web. Throughout the years, marami silang ginawang stuff to make the web friendly for everyone. So kahit kahit meron kang problema sa paningin, gumagamit ka ng screen readers. So web must be accessible pa rin sa'yo, no? So ano yung concept na yun? Yun yung concept ng accessibility. So accessibility is basically just making the web much accessible for everyone, regardless kung ano naman ng physical state nila, no? So yung paggamit ng main is basically a semantic tag. So ito siya, no? I will send it this mdn semantics di pala semantic tags ba yan? So basically ito yung mga ito lang send ko, no? this. So basically, ito yung collection ng elements na proper to make our website much more friendly or navigational sa mga tao na yun, no, na may problema in their, you know, may physical problems, kung ano man yun, which is sa concept ng accessibility. So basically, ang sinasabi ng main is lahat ng lahat ng content under main, siya yung pinaka actual content ng website na yun, which is makes our website much more navigational and friendly para sa kanila, no? So main. So I would say main, and I will add some section here. Section is basically another semantic tag, basically na nagsasabi na okay, so meron akong main. Ito yung main content ng website ko. Pero pwede siya magkaroon ng section, which is basically a section, a plain section. Kasi yung div kasi, kung div, kapag ginawa ko tong div, medyo ano siya, generic siya. Wala siya masyadong ibig sabihin, no? In screen readers, basically yung screen readers yung ginagamit ng mga tao na yon na may problema in their, physically to navigate the web or the website, no? So itong mga to kasi in screen readers, meron silang special meaning, no? May ano sila a special sila for helping those people by in screen readers para basically mas madali yung navigation ng website natin, no? So I will say section in here, section which is basically in important part ng main. So basically a section na much meaningful compared sa generic div. So yun lang siya, no, basically. And then I will say hold on, and I will say div, and I will say div. So dito okay lang na mag-div tayo dito, no, kasi since nasa loob naman tayo ng section, itong div kasi ginagamit siya for containers. So okay lang naggamit tayo ng div dito. And then meron akong container dito which is container for actor to do. I will name it container to do. So yung actual content, no, yung actual to do. Pero pwede namang wala na siguro. So yeah. So ito yung container to do, and I will say meron ako dito div, then I will say h1, and lagyan ko siya ng class, no, class, and then I will say container heading, then I will say here to do's, and then so ito yung pinaka-container ng to do natin. I will add a hello guys, am I audible? Meron kayong questions? Any questions so far before I continue? Audible ba ako? Naiintindihan ba yung nakakasunod ba? Hindi pa siya masyadong advanced. Alright. Okay, let's continue. So I have some, ito na yung parang mismong box, no? Yung box ng to do natin na may papakita ko. So ito yung parang container lang para mas madali yung trabaho natin. And then nilagyan ako dito ng div, isa pang div. Gagamitin yung shortcut which is container to do's. And then meron ako dito isa pang container ulit, container ano yun, add button para mas madali lang, no, kaya ko siya ng container.
Newfangle, may static sound yung may popping sound yung audio mo.
Okay, wait.
Di ba? Ganun. May sumasabay pre.
Okay, wait lang.
Yung static sound.
Hold on.
And guys, so while we're waiting for Newfangle's return with a better sound, ayan. Kamusta naman guys? Ayan, to our 24 audience here. Kamusta kayo so far? Kamusta naman guys ang bagong learnings natin sa ReactJS? Actually, dami ko rin natututunan kay ano kay Newfangle din eh. Very good. Ikaw rin pala for team dev eh. Ikaw rin pala, meron ka pa rin palang utang sa na Chicken Joy. Ayan. And okay. Ako, kamusta ako? I'm fine naman, Debs. Pag masaya kayo, masaya rin ako eh. Ganun tayo eh. Pag masaya kayo, masaya rin ako. Mm. O code.command, yeah. So, code.command, it is, if I'm not mistaken, di ba? So, you're gonna open na dun yung mismong project. Ayan. Daming new discoveries, yeah. So, maganda rin actually na, guys, share your learnings here. Para syempre, it is your way to verify, of course, if you learn something, of course. Uh, so, one analysis of code, it is, yun nga, we encourage consistent learning dyan. So, every day, even just 10 minutes of learning, so you can post there what you learned. Marami nga dyan nagpo-post ng mga mahahabang na statements, but you can just write a simple statement about what you learned, post a screenshot if you must, and then yeah. So, dyan, no, we do that every day. Of course, pag naputol yon, balik sa day 1. So, ang goal ay hanggang day 100 siya. Para, of course, if you compare yourself from day 100 to day 1, you will notice na ang layo mo na pala. Ganun siya, no? So, consistency over intensity. And, yeah, so, I
Yep.
think narito na ulit si for team today. Si Newfangle. Ayan, so I will give the stage back to you, bro.
Okay. Oh man. Sige, sige, tapusin natin. Okay, so yan. Let's continue. That's weird. So, yan. So, may dalawang containers dito na. Other containers. Sa inyo nag-comment ng kulto. Oh, sige, Carby, gawa tayo na kulto na React. So, yun. To introduce. So, may turn ako dito. And then, para lang mas madali yung yung tulating sound. And then, dito sa part na to, I will say, maglagay tayo ng button. Hindi pala. Name changes. So, you need to do no, pero wala pa siyang kulay. Kasi CSS, wala pa tayong start. So, I will say here, sa H1, I will say letter spacing. Spacing niya is -5 pixels. No, and then I will say color niya is white. D456. And then I will say font size niya is responsive. So, gagamit tayo ng responsive font size, which is yung gagamit tayo ng clamp. It's basically to make our font size responsive. Maybe you could say 1 rem as yung minimum size niya. And then yung base size niya is about 3 rem plus 10 viewport width, maybe. Or, 11. Sige, 10 na lang, 10. Or yan, 10. And then I will say 10 rem, yung maximum font size niya. No? So, ito yung base, yung minimum base size, and then yung maximum. No? And then I will say text align center para mag-center siya. So, yun. To do. So, ito yung selection kanina, no? Yung selection. So, yung selection. So, basically, lahat ng HTML elements, pag sinelect mo siyang ganun, yung kulay niya is black. And then yung, niya, so, yung background color is white, and then yung color is black. And then, ano ba? Maybe yung, yung font weight. 700, maybe. Ayun. So, yeah. I think much better. And then, ano ba yung pagdating next na gawin? So, yun yung H1 natin, no? So, yeah. Ang pwede natin gawin. Yung sa may container to do. Ito to do natin, no? Maglagay tayo ng style dito. So, I will say here, container to do. I will say here, lagay tayo ng ng width niya. ng width, which is 95%. And then for responsiveness, lagay tayo ng max width, which is 50 rem. I use rem over pixels kasi mas madali silang i-size. And then margin auto to standard that. Di pala. To visualize it, lagay tayo ng outline 1 pixel solid white. So ito yung natin, yung container, which is this one. Yung good container to do. And then I will say here margin inline. And then auto. Para mag-center siya. Boom. Center siya, no? And then I will say here, so mamaya na yun. So since under siya ng since siya yung parent ng mga to, which is siblings of divs, mas maganda kung gumawa tayo dito ng flex. So I will say flex, gumawa tayo ng flex box dito, and then flex direction column, and then gap is about 2 rem. So basically CSS lang siya, no? Nothing much advanced in here. So ayan. So ang magandang gawin dito is pwede. Lagay tayo ng button muna dito, no? I will say here button, and then sa button na yan siyang add to do. So ayun siya, no? And then I will say here lagyan siya ng class name. By the way, yung class name sa React is similar sa class name or sa class in HTML, no? Kasi just like what we learned in the past sessions, may mga konting adjustment lang sa React compared sa HTML. For example, itong mga to yung attributes, iba yung name. So sa plain HTML class, no, just to prove it, diba? Kuwari gawa tayo din ng div, diba? Class lang siya. So walang class name sa plain HTML, no? Pero sa React, may konting adjustment lang, walang difference, class name instead na class. Okay. And then I will say dito yung niya, no, yung what they call this, yung class name. So I will say button button add to do, and then we'll copy this particular class to style that button. And then siguro sa button, kasi may isa pa tayong button, is yung button para mag-delete ng to do. So lagay dito ng parang base style ng mga button. So lahat ng button is may background color, which is white, no? White. Lahat ng button is may border radius. Di pala. Hold on. Ano ba? Maganda. Okay, lahat ng button is may cursor na property, which is yung pointer. So basically, yung pointer is, kapag wala tong property na to, default lang siya na pointer, no? Yung sa mouse natin. Pero pag may property na pointer, mag-iba siya to hand, just to indicate na special to, no? Or na pwede siya maklik. And then I will say here border radius, lagay ito ng border radius para may konting curve. Let's say around 10 pixels, para mas madali siya okay, 10 pixels. And then lagay tayo ng konting padding, about 1.5 rem all throughout. And then width niya, so ano pwede gawin dito? Hold on, background color, meron tayong background color. Di pala yung padding pala, hindi pa siya maganda, no? Padding is 1 rem lang, 0 and 1 rem and then 0. So basically yung shortcut is lagyan mo siya ng padding sa taas, sa may taas, and then sa kanan wala. Sa baba meron, and then sa kaliwa wala. So yun yung purpose nun. And then I will say here, letter spacing is -2 pixels. And then yung font size niya, nakalimutan ko lagay yung font size niya, no? Clamp, gamit tayo ng clamp ulit for responsiveness. Ano maganda. So kung 1 rem to as our base, so 1 rem na rin siya as our RG pala yung minimum. And then gamit tayo ng calc. It's basically to calculate this, no, yung 3 rem tsaka yung size ng screen, yung 10% ng viewport width. And then I will say here sa calc, 1 rem plus, I don't know, maybe 1 viewport width, no? And then I will say yung max size ng font, which is 2 rem, kasi sobrang laki naman yung 10 rem, no? And then lagay tayo dito ng width, which is 100%, para sumakap siya doon. So we have a bit of a button right here. So remove na natin tong, hindi ba may yung outline. Ano ba pwede? Font size, lahat sila bold, lahat ng button is bold, so 700. Ay, hindi pala size. Ano pala, wait, para bold, boom, beautiful button. And then anong pwede magawa? Meron na akong background color, meron na akong kulay, ano pwede akong gawin? Okay, sigting okay na yan muna for now. And then we will remove this color. Okay, that's nice. So meron tayong button, click na button. And then ano yung next sa data design? So we have the button in here, or a simple button na kapag kinlik may lalabas dito na to do. But before natin siyang gawin, siguro for now, i-decide muna natin yung ano, no? Check muna yung comments. Mern modes. That's funny, man. Damn. Mern modes. And okay, dito na. Before tayo gumawa ng separate component, which is yung to-do.jsx. And then I will say here, function runs to do is equals to an arrow function. And then I will say export it default to do. By the way, kapag components kasi, may convention kapag components, naka-arrow function ako, pero pag mga containers, naka function declaration. So para mas conventional kasi siya, no? Pag components, naka siya, arrow function. So mamaya akong i-design. So mamaya. So let's say sa may part ng div, meron tayo ditong tawag dito, isang to do. So let's design it. Ang gamitin natin dito is div, isa lang din siyang div. And then isa lang din siyang div, pero meron ka ditong what do you call this? Input, no? May input ka dito. So div siya na may type, na may class name of to do. Okay, to do. Then I will say here input. Oh man. And I will say here class name. Lagay din ng class name, and then lagay din ng input to do. Okay. And then I think yun naman for now, no? Para basic lang naman na yung gagawin natin. Basic lang naman na to do application, no? So I have a input to do in here. And then gusto ko siya i-design. So ini-into do natin, no? Ini-into do natin. And then dito pala, lagay tayo ng isa pa, which is yung button. I will say here button. And I will say class name, kasi meron siyang class. And I will use here button action. Then para siya sa delete. Para siya sa delete. So lalabas dun yung yung kanina. But yeah, we will fix that. So yeah, meron tayong i-assume natin meron tayong isang to do dito, no. Meron tayong isang to do. So ano yung gagawin natin? Style muna natin yung yung tawag dito. Yung file na yan. And by the way, if you're wondering kung ba't hindi na ako gumawa dito ng isa pang CSS file. Kasi ito kasing index is siya, global file. So since hindi pa naman ganun kalaki yung project natin, basic pa lang naman. Hindi mo naging concern dito yung pag dissect ng mga styles. But yeah, pwede siya iba-ibang CSS files, but for now, just for sake of simplicity, isang CSS file muna yung ginamit ko, no? Okay, and then button add to do. No, wag muna yan. Ano pwede kong gawin? Okay, so I will delete this out muna, and I will select all those inputs. Let's fix that. Ilagay siya dito kasi hindi siya global. And then I will say here input. So lahat ng input, okay, lahat ng input, gawin mo silang display block para madali sila i-style. And then lagyan mo sila ng background color, which is black. And then color nila is syempre white, no? So iba na yun, no? Iba na siya, no? So nawala na yung default styling niya. And then meron pa siyang default styling tuloy yung meron pa siyang remaining default styling dito, no? So sa part ng border, tingin ko parang yung ginagawa ko dati, just like maybe this one, 5 pixels border, and then solid, and then I don't know, white. Oh, that's boring. Ibayin natin. Medyo malabo na konti. 169. And then lagyan siya ng border radius, just like yung kanina. Saan yun? Border radius maybe 10 pixels sa input. So border radius 10 pixels. And then padding for the text. That's nice. Concern sa kanya is yung width, no? So yung width niya is parang masakop niya yung buong parent is I don't know, maybe with 100% pala. With apologies. So may warning lang na. But yeah, let's ignore that. Ako na pag ginawa ko ng outline. Alam ko same lang din yun, eh. Yeah, outline. No. Let's remove that tingin to border muna for now. Let's move natin concern yung warning. So yeah, ano pwede mong gawin dito? I think okay na naman, no? Yung font size pala medyo maliit. And font size, I will copy this and maybe tweak the values. So input maybe 1 rem plus 1 p per width, and then I have 2 rem as well. So yeah, so na yung font natin. We have that beautiful font kerning, ang ganda yung kerning niya, no? Yung enter. And then yeah, so think ako na yung sa part nung to do. Check ko muna yung Discord. So may nag-ano naman dito, no? Nagsasagot naman ng questions. Thanks for that, Kirby. Okay, so hindi naman kasi yung purpose ng sessions natin, no, to to make other people more um, participative in syempre, in chats. So yeah, focus muna ito on coding. Support ng app, support ng application. What else pwede kong gawin dito? Continue to do's na study ko na to. And yung button actions. Ano yun? Ay, okay, kasi lahat nga pala ng button yun. So, gawa tayo dito ng that button actions. I'll say here, yung width lang niya is, yung sa button ba, may width ako dito. So, yung punta dito, no? Then, I will add it to dun sa button add to do. That button add to do. Then I will say here button add to do with 100%. Pero itong button actions, so malaki niya, ano? So malaki nung font niya. So maybe ano lang to. Button actions, maybe width niya is 15%. And then ako na yung background color niya, yung font size na lang pala sa mga button. Iba-iba, magkakaiba sila ng font size. So yung font size nung nito is malaki siya. Pero yung font size nung button actions is medyo mas maliit siya, dapat siya ng konti. Kasi nakakanya sa screen, no? So maybe 0.5 rem. And then you have also 0.5 rem dito. And then 2 rem. Ano? Wait lang. No. Hindi pala. Apologies. So yung button actions, you have width. Yan yung font niya. You have font. And then yung button to do, okay na rin. Nasa na natin yung button to do. Ay, button add to do. Which is yung mag-add ng buttons natin. And then the natin style is yung to do, which is this one, to do. So we'll style that as well. I will say here, to do. And then display, flex, gap, maybe 0.5 rem in the gap. So meron silang konting gap, no? And then button action is 20%. And then cursor niya is pointer, yes. And then padding niya is 0.5 rem. Input niya pala, no? Is padding niya is meron siyang konting padding, which is about, ito palang padding is ano na pala to, dapat lang pala to sa sa part ng button add to do. Then sa padding, lagay tayo yung padding dito, 0. Sa padding niya is lagay tayo ng 0.5 rem, and then 0.5 rem, then 0 ulit. Ano? Saan yun nakalagay? Ano? Medyo mali ating style ko, no? Wait lang. Sa input, wait, nawala. No, mali pala ito, nanggal. 1.5 rem pala yun. Then I will remove this muna for now. So okay na, no? And then yung delete button, what else? Wait lang, yung to do muna. So to do, you have 0.5 rem as yung gap. And then yung sa button actions, you have kasi meron naman ditong border radius, no? Okay na yung border radius na dito. And then maybe negative 2 pixels, okay na rin. Letter spacing, font weight 700, okay na rin. Yung font size nya is medyo maliit. Bibitin ito lang din yung font size nya. Oh no, nangyari. So I have to do in here. Tapos yung to do, okay, mali pala. Kaya pala eh. So, nangyari dito is, yung sa default styling kasi dito, ano, yung may default. Ano to? Ano tabla ko So, yung display flex, so may do muna. Hindi ko muna siya i-flex na. Para makita ko yung changes. And then, buka siguro nito. Ano ba yung style ko dito? Okay. Kaya pala. Wala pala siyang S. Apologies. Button actions yung... Kaya pala. Ayun. Wala pala siyang S. Oh man. Daily dev. Mistakes. Spelling. So yun. Think okay na to, no? Meron na tayong much more good, working. Medyo di pala ako yung padding natin sa part nung actions. Lagay ko siya ng padding. Maybe 0.5 gram. Then 0. And then 0.5 gram. And then 0 ulit. Okay. Wait. Sa button. Lahat ng button. Makagawa nito. Button natin ito. And then, ito is global na. Since global naman to, parang di-duplicate yung styles. Hindi ko siya dito sa part ng button. Then I will just delete this. Yeah. So for now, yun lang muna, no? Dito eh. One bro. Anyway, sige, kamay na. So for now, okay na tong layout natin na to, no? So, much better siya, no? So, let's start adding some interactivity. So, gagamit natin yung state. Ay, hindi pala. I-dissect pala natin siya, no? So, dito. Return. Kasi isa siyang component. Yung to do. This one is a component, no? To do. And then, I will cut it. We'll paste it here as well. And then I will import that component dito. So import to do, and then I will say to do in here. Okay. So yun pa rin to do natin. Para pag tinanggal natin to, mawala siya. Alright. So unang gagawin natin is para kapag kinlik to, gumawa natin ng state, no? Yung state. So yung state natin is yung we will just import it. Just import use state. Okay, use state. And then gagawa tayo ng state for to-dos. So to-dos const to-dos, and then set to-dos just like what we learned, no? These to-dos are immutable, and then use state, and then we will pass here yung initial value niya, no? So I want this to be a array of objects na may ID, which is mamaya na yung ID, no? And may gagamitin tayo isang tayo package siya. And then yun lang muna for now, no? ID muna. Ano pwede ko maligay dito? I guess yung para mas basic yung ID lang muna, no? And then gagamit tayo ng library para mas maganda, para mas accurate yung sa ID natin. So sa npm.js, I will just use that particular ID, UUID. Okay. Mamaya explain ko kung paparasan siya, no? But yeah, we will use that to generate IDs. I will install it sa package sa current project natin ngayon, which is this one. So yeah, basically nag-generate lang siya ng random ID. So cd to do, and then I will say npm install UUID. And then, based sa documentation, i-import natin siya, no? Sabi dito. Story na siya, no? So, yeah. For now, yung ID muna. And then, sa part ng to-do, since isa siyang array, gusto ko, itong to-do na to is, ang nire-represent niya is yung yung laman nung to-do's array. So, for that, we will use the map, the array map method method in JavaScript. So again, all those expressions no is gagamit tayo ng curly braces. So I will say here to-dos dot map. So ibig sabihin ng to-dos yung array map basically sa lahat ng elements, and then it will accept a function, which is this one, yung parameter. This is yung individual item. This time I will name it to-do to represent individual to-dos. This one is a object, and I will create a function in here, and I want it to return something. Return in which to-do. Okay. So mamaya gagamitin natin to-do na, but for now, so yun to-do. So ito reactive na siya, no? So pag naglagay ako dito ng isa pang object, yung dalawa na siya, right? Oh, meron palang styling dito na di ko nasama. Saan yan? Sa container to-dos pala. Apologies, di ko nasama yan. That container to-dos, okay. That container to-dos display flex, okay. And then flex direction column, and then para magkaroon sila ng separate lang ito ng graph, maybe 2 rem. Okay, that's good. So again, no, pag naglagay tayo ng isa pang dito, isa pang ID, isa pang so dadama yun, may siya, tatlo siya. Yung sa part na yung sa install natin, yung UUID, we will import that package na which is a tool to generate IDs, no, para mas madali yung natin, kasi explain ko kung bakit napaka-important natin ng ID. So v4 as UUID, I believe tama ba yung syntax ko? UUID v4, tapos from, here we go, tama, nice. And then so para mapag-generate tayo ng unique ID, we will use this function, and then mag-return siya ng random ID, no, hex hash value, this one as well, para iba-iba yung ID nila, no? So even though same method yung ginamit natin, iba-iba naman silang dire-return kasi randomize yung na-generate yung ID. Check ko rin yung Discord. Check you guys how's it going. Mamaya Rulu, explain ko mamaya kung ba't important yung ID when dealing with list, just like this one. Mamaya explain ko siya kasi fundamental concept din siya ng React. Okay, so I have to do in here. So meron na nakapag-return na tayo ng to-do. Black screen ulit. Wapol. Ay, ano yata yan, Wapol, yung problema yata dyan is hindi mo ata siya try mo mag-rejoin ulit dun sa yung sa part nung para bumalik yung sa ano. Okay, I have to do senior. And then, ayun. Try mo ulit mag-regen Wapol sa meeting. And don't worry, ito naman code isasend ko naman to ano sa ano natin medyo hindi ata maganda yung padding ko na yung gap. Maybe I will say here to 1 na lang. Masyadong malaki yung signatura. Medyo malaki yung padding mo siya. That's the idea. And then ayun. Ano yung next na gagawin ko? Syempre it's time to add some para gumana yung add to do. So ang gagawin natin, mag-define dito ng mga functions to make this stuff work, no? And then for now muna ito muna i-concern natin. So as right now, kapag in-open natin yung browser, meron itong mga warnings. Yung each child in a list should have a unique key prop. So ano ibig sabihin yan? So basically, ibig sabihin ng yan is may warning yung React na yung mga list daw or yung mga list in each one, this one, yung mga to-do natin, dapat daw kailangan silang may key. So ano yung key? So we will use that key. And then yung key is siyang special attribute in React to make to help React to recognize different this component para mas madali silang ma-update sometime in the future. So for example, kapag in-implement na natin itong delete and then hindi tayo naglagay dito ng key, which is dapat yung key is yung special value na unique, in which this one, ito dapat itong to-do na to is dapat unique siya dito, no? So paano mo ma-implement yung difference na yun, which is yung paggamit ng key, in which ang gagamitin natin key na unique is yung ID natin. Kaya yun yung purpose kaya siya may ID. So I will say here to do that ID. Ibig sabihin, yung default na ID ng to do natin is yung ID dito. Okay. So again, even though isang function yan, iba-iba sila lang nare-return dito sa part ng ID. So hash values yon or randomized series of text and numbers. So ayun, ano yung pwede natin gawin? So okay na, wala na yung warning pag na-refresh ko to, okay na yan. Okay, so magde-define tayo ng what do you call this? Ng functions. Una mo ng function is yung sa add to do. So para gumana siya. So I will say here const handle add to do. And then isa siyang arrow function. And then this function is mag-run siya kapag napindot to. So we will use that particular on click na natutunan natin, no? And then this one, I will say here handle to do. Handle add to do. So explain ko to, no? Again, diba, in plain HTML, yung paggamit ng ganito, for example, this one, balik tayo dito, no? Diba sa plain HTML, kapag ginawa ko to, button, tapos kapag ang ginawa ko dito is on click, hindi pala, on click, diba in plain HTML, yung pagset ng gantong event, hindi siya maganda, no? In HTML, no? So dapat kung gusto mong ano yung event ng click sa button, dapat sa ano mo siya i-manipulate sa JavaScript. But sa case ng React is hindi. Ito lang ata yung tanging reason to make deal of events. Pero hindi siya foul in React. No, hindi siya foul. So basically, kapag itong button na to is na-click, may magkaroon na function. And then that particular function, tatawagin yung handle to do, in which nandun yung actual code natin para mag-add ng add to do. So ito yung tawag dito. Ito yung isa sa mga suggested way, no, with dealing with events. We just gagawa ka dapat ng function in which siya yung wrapper ng function and in which sa loob ng function na yun, nandun yung actual logic natin, no, to make a particular functionality to happen. And then, since ito yung wrapper function natin, we will also wrap it sa isang function na mag-run. So, either this one is acceptable, or this one, yung handle to do, handle add to do. Either of the two. Pero ako kasi, para mas flexible yung code ko, no, gantong way ko siya ini-implement. Kasi, bakit, no? Let's say, kapag kinlik ko yung button, aside from mag-run tong code na to, may iba pa akong logic na gusto mangyari. So therefore, ang gagawin ko na lang dito is, nagagawa na lang ako dito ng isa pang ano. And then, din yung code ko, no? So, ganun. But, yeah, either of the two. Wag lang yung gantong klase ng approach. Kasi yung iba kasi ang ginagawa nila dito sa on-click or sa events, ang ginagawa nila, yung handle, yung function na yun, handle add to do, ginaganyan nila, no? Which is, hindi siya magandang practice, no? So either of the two maganda. Either, again, this one, na yung pass by reference, which is, pag kinik to, this one yung reference ng function na is this one, nakapoint siya dito, no? So yun yung mag-run. Or yung common way na ginagawa ko, which is by basically running a new function or returning a function. So yeah, either of the two maganda. But yeah, I prefer this one for much more flexibility. I would actually... Okay, wala naman so far. Okay, so let's proceed. Ilan tayo sa meeting? So we're currently at 25. So yeah. Ano next na gagawin natin? So yung ano na, actual logic, pag-add ng ano, pag-add nung dun sa, di pala, may isa pala tayong kailangan i-define na function, which is yung const handle delete to do, which is para naman siya dito, no, sa delete. So we'll say here, yun, handle add delete. And then, since itong to do, no, yung to do, nandun yung button, itong function na to, na nag-handle ng to do, pwede natin siya ipasa dito sa part ng to do na yun, using props as well, which is yung props. So this one, I will say here, props. This is yung props. Or di ba pwede mo nang gawin? Di ba yung props? Ganyan. Or pwede yung ganito, no? In JavaScript kasi meron tayong object destructuring syntax. So pwede mo to gawin. And then, pwede mo dito ilagay dito yung ano, yung laman ng props mo. For example, yung mamaya, I've used that. So basically, I will pass this function na to, handle to do, into this particular component, no? Which is, that's okay, no? In React, okay lang din yun. Which is, ang tawag sa kanya is prop drilling, no? So, pinapasa mo yung prop in this particular component to make that prop na magamit siya dito. So yeah, I will explain it. So in here, I will say update, di pala update, delete action, or yeah, or delete to do. And then I will pass this particular function na actual nag-handle ng logic. And then to access this particular prop sa component na yun, I will say here delete to do. Okay, so delete to do is a function. And then sa button na to, kapag kinik siya, dapat magde-delete yung to do, right? So I will say here on click again, yung on click, and then I will say delete to do, then yung actual function ko. So yan. And then dito, no, may kailangan pa tayong ipasa dito para mag-work yung to do. So I need to pass that particular ID, which is, gusto kong ipasa yung ID, which is yung to do .id. And then I will access that particular ID, this one, para Kasi ano eh, kailangan natin siya dito sa may part ng handle to do, which is yung ID. Okay, ID. Which is yung ID nung particular tawag dito. Yung ID ng particular um, to do na yun na kailangan natin i-delete. No? So, I will use ID in here and I will pass it as a argument. And then, we just delete to do, which is ang represent niya is this one. Handle to do, right? So, in this code, in this function, I will say, ayun, mamaya na yung logic nun. So, yeah. I think we're okay, no? Sa part na yun. Wait. So, yun yung idea, no? So, i-implement lang natin yung logic na yun na makakapag-add ng to do. And that's it. So, yeah. Ano ba? Sige, implement na natin yung add to do na functionality. So, check mo na yung Discord. Any questions so far? Medyo nakaka-follow pa dun sa flow nung pag-code in React. Guys, you can use the chat box. Balikan ko yung sa may part ng ID, ba't kailangan yung ID? Wait lang. So, check muna kayo kung kamusta ba kayo. Okay. Check muna. So, kaya ako hindi siya nalagyan ng update button kasi siya, either magiging challenge siya, challenge ko siya sa inyo na modify this to do application na gagawin natin ngayon to magkaroon siya ng update functionality, no? Ano yun? Nasa sa inyo na yun kung paano niya siya i-implement. Yun, basta yun. Siguro after natin siya magawa, yung update functionality is either ang gagawin niya dito is dapat yung in to do, dapat naka-disable siya. Tapos meron kang dito, update button na pag click mo, mag-activate yung input na yun. Pwede yun. So for now siguro hindi isa kong challenge. Pero saka na muna yun. Muna tapos i-implement muna natin yung dalawang logic, which is yung for add to do tsaka yung sa delete. Because yun, nagagamit naman natin yung fundamentals for now. But yeah, implement mo natin add to do. So, kapag mag-add tayo to do, basically, I will say here, set to do's, which is yung set state natin, and yung and then, just like what I said nung last session, kapag gagamit tayo ng state, let's add a function sa loob nun na nagre-return ng something. So, ano yan? So, since kapag gumagamit tayo ng function sa loob ng to-dos, yung function na yun is pwede ka dito maglagay ng variable or yung parameter. Ano yan? So, itong parameter na to, ang nare-represent niya sa loob ng set to-dos is yung current to-dos, right? Okay? So, yun yung nare-represent niya, which is array. So, in JavaScript, paano ba tayo mag-modify ng array? Di ba, ang ginagawa natin is hindi pala yung syntax ko, sorry, is in JavaScript gagawa tayo ng array dito, okay, and then we have this syntax called spread syntax, which is 3 dots 1 2 3 and then to do's. I will explain this code, don't worry. And I will say here, okay, new object, and I will say here ID na may unique ID using UUID. So, ano ibig sabihin nito? Okay, so set to do. Meron kang function, right? Yung to do's na to, ang nire-represent niya is yung current to do array. And then, since arrow yan, it will return an array. So, yung ibig sabihin ko dito sa part na to is na that to-dos, basically lahat ng to-dos, lahat ng to-dos na meron ka, which is this one, ilagay mo dito. And then, gusto kong magdagdag ng bago. So, basically, ang nangyari is parang pinagsasama mo yung mga old values tsaka yung new value na yon. Okay? And then, since nasa loob sila ng isang array, which is yung this one, so napagsasama-sama yung mga current or yung old tsaka yung bago. And since nagre-return ka ng bagong array, therefore, magre-reflect yun doon. Okay? So, once I click this button, add to do, boom. You see that? So, nag-add siya ng ano, no? Ay, nawala yung share screen. Nawala yung share screen. I'm sorry, apologies. Nawala yung share screen. Oh man. Nawala yung share screen. Apologies. So, ayun. I will refresh the page. So, for now, no, meron kang tatlong to do. Bakit? Kasi meron tayong default value na to do. So, pwede ko siya mureno. Okay, so wala siyang laman. So, wala yon. And then, since yung handle add to do, again, yung to do. So, yung set to do, isa siyang set state function. And then, nag-accept siya ng isang function din na mag-run, in which kapag function ang pinasa mo dito, you have an access to the current current state na yon, which is this one is an array. And then we will return a new array, which is this one, na using the syntax na basically ang sinasabi niya is lahat ng array, lahat ng elements na meron ka, which is this one, is kukunin ko lahat yon. And then magdadagdag ako ng isa. And lahat yun is pagsasamahin ko sa isang bagong array na mare-return, in which magre-reflect kasi nga reactive siya, right? Kaya that's why pag click natin yung add to do, boom, and then another, right? And then another as well. So nagalagay, and then pwede kang maglagay ito, let's say code, let's say sleep, and then I don't know, die, diba? So yun, meron ka ng basic to-do list, right? So the next function na pwede natin gawin is, just for sake of simplicity, is yung delete, no? But yeah, you can add ano dito, tawag dito, and ayun, pwede kang gumawa ng isa pang to do. So yun, no, code, sleep, and die. Welcome to the industry. Kidding, it's a joke. Yun. So yun yung pwede natin gawin. So, yeah. Next functionality na tayo, no? So, naintindihan ba tong code, yung code na to? Madali ba siya maintindihan? Yung parang ginagawa niya. Kasi ito kasi is spread syntax. Don't worry, kapag naghanap ka ng JavaScript, matututunan siya, no? So, basically, ang ibig sabihin lang niya is access. So, basically, in basic sense to, in basic sense, get all the contents of that particular object, which is this one, array, which is array, isa siyang object, right? And then, ayun. And then, since dito, kukunin mo lahat ng properties or elements na meron ka, and then, gusto ko siyang dagdagan ng bago, which is this one. That's why, and pagsasamahin ko sa isang bagong array, which is this one, in which siya yung mare-return dun sa bagong value ng to do, right? So may question dito, no? Yes, ano siya, spread syntax siya. Yes, pero yung EJ, yung clamp, isa siyang CSS function, which is bago lang siya, no? I believe. But yeah, it is supported by a lot of browsers. So basically, ang ginagawa ng clamp dito is, balik tayo dito. yung clamp is a function, CSS function, built-in function siya ng CSS, in which meron akong tatlong parameters dito, no? Yung first parameter is yung minimum or yung smallest font size na pwede ma-display ng browser or nung this particular element, which is one. Ang pinakamaliit niya is 1 rem. Yung nasa gitna naman is yung base size. Basically, siya yung pinaka-normal size, no? Okay, so kapag kaya pa ng screen i-display yung base, i-display mo yung base. And then yung pangatlo naman is yung max. Okay, siya yung pinakamalaki na kaya i-display nung font na yun, no element na yun. It is widely supported by a lot of browsers. Yes, don't worry, Astro, no? Meron namang roadmap.sh, you can definitely follow that. Hindi ako developers ng site na yun. I just highly encourage that to everyone kasi nandun na lahat right? So, siguro, tomorrow, di ba? Monday naman bukas, you start, code it. So, yeah. I see. So, yeah, let's continue for this functionality. Biro lang biro lang yan. But yeah, that's it. So, for the next functionality naman is yung handle to do. Which is gagamitin natin yung ID. Ay, hindi. By the way pala yung key. Again, since isa siyang list, no? So, para hindi mahirapan yung React to distinguish about this list or about this different element, kailangan magkaroon sila ng difference or distinction. Okay, para hindi mahirapan yung React compiler under the hood na ma-distinguish sila. Kasi kapag nahirapan yung React compiler na ma-distinguish yung mga list na to, and then gusto mong gumawa ng individual or separate operation in which walang key, possible magkaroon ka ng bugs, no? Kaya ginawa nila yun para kaya may key ka dito para mas efficient yung pag-update, no? And then hindi siya safe sa bugs, so para magkaroon sila ng distinction. Alright, so yun yung purpose dito ng key, in which this one isa siyang package or application na ginagamit para mag-generate ng random ID. So UUID yung ginagamit. Diba kung familiar kayo sa blockchain, diba sa blockchain you have different types of blocks, right? And those particular blocks may diba, iba-ibang address. So yung address na yun is similar dito, which is yung hash value, which is basically a series of random letters and numbers and symbols. So yun yung purpose niya, no? But yeah, that's the idea dito. Kailangan niya ng key, yung individual list na yun, para yung React compilers hindi siya mahirapan when we are having a set of operation na unique na dapat mangyari lang dito at hindi dapat mangyari sa iba. So yun lang yun. Ganun siya din-assign ng mga developers ng React. And for me, that's beautiful. And that's very witty, yung ganung klase ng way. Ayan. Kasi maraming share ng knowledge. So yeah, for the next for the last task yung handle delete to do. Hold on. Check ko lang yung. Okay, so wala ba tayo matapos, no? Okay, so sa handle sa part naman ng delete. So kailangan ng ID. Bakit? So itong mga to is different, is distinguishable using ID, right? By ID. May iba-iba silang unique ID, right? Kaya ako din kasi ginawa tong simple yung natin, no? Simple yung to-do list kasi gusto ko mag-focus tayo sa concept ng kidding kasi napaka-importante rin nito. Kaya hindi ko muna nilagay yung part ng update functionality, no? But yeah, gusto ko man bigyan to ng emphasis yung concept ng key. Kasi yung iba kasi ang ginagawa nila, okay, so you have a key. Yung ginagawa kasi nila is yung index nung ano, nung element, which is this one. So for example, um, kasi yung, tama ba ako? Yung map, tumatanggap siya ng isa pang, ayun tama. Ito kasing map guys, no? Ito kasing map function, tumatanggap siya ng isa pang parameter, which is yung index, in which yung number siya, yung index ng current element na yun dun sa array. So pag nilagay mo siya dito, um, okay lang din yun kasi yung index kasi 'di ba sa isang array iba-iba yan, 'di ba, from 0 1 2 3 4 to n to infinity or to length. Now yung iba kasi ang ginagawa nila, um, dito ang ginagawa nila is ginagamit nila yung index, no, para maging key. Kasi kung isipin mo mabuti, 'di ba yung index iba-iba sila, 'di ba? Iba-iba sila ng numbers. Okay, so at first tama siya, no, kasi after all iba-iba naman to eh. Yung ano, yung index nila, 'di ba, ito index 0, index 1, index 2. Kaya lang meron ka malaking problema. Ano yung problema na yun? So since index ang ginamit mo, what if gumawa ka dito ng operation, let's say pinuro mo to, itong tawag ito, itong to do na to. So meron ka na lang ano, 1 2 3 4. So apat na to do. Eh ang ginamit mo index. Itong index na to, hindi siya reactive. So ang mangyayari nun, sa una tama siya, pero kapag gumawa ka ng operation na delete, meron ka ng problema kasi malilito na yung compiler, yung React compiler, about the differences of those particular um, to do. So that's why hindi siya maganda, no? Kahit kailan, wag natin gagamitin na yung index yung magiging ID nung key natin. So dapat something na unique, in which this one. Kaya ako nag-install pa ng isa pang package para mas mapadali yung pag-ano natin, no? Pag-generate natin ng random ID, which is this one. Ano yun? Di pala, to do .id, right? Pero kahit ano, hindi lang to yung way, no? Para lang mas madali, no? For example, meron kang value dito, which is meron kang isang value dito na sa part mo na alam mong unique. For example, name, 'di ba? Name ng tao, no? Or whatsoever na basta any other value na unique, na sure ka na kahit gumawa ka ng operation dito, is yung ID na yun is bound lang siya dun sa isang particular item. Okay lang yun, no? But this one, kaya mas madali. And tingin ko sobrang common ito eh. Yung ginagamit ng ID is yung other packages and other yung properties as well na unique. Dito for example, yung ano, example, gumagawa ka ng isang blockchain application, and let's say syempre meron ng ano yun eh, hash yun eh, 'di ba? Hash. Pwedeng yun yung gamitin mo, no? But in this particular example, para mas madali, ito yung ginamit natin. So yeah, tapusin natin to, no? By implementing this simple operation. So since sa may handle to do, meron tayong access dun sa part ng ID, in which siya yung pinasa natin dito, no? Yung to do.id, and then meron akong access doon. And then nagpasa pa tayo ng delete to do, which is kapag kinulo ko siya, ipapasa niyo yung ID na yun na pinasa natin din dito sa handle delete to do. So ito na yung pinaka-operation niya, no? So this one, gagawin natin is set to do's again, and then as you can see, hindi natin kailangan yung ano, no, yung previous, yung current ano, no, kasi may special ano tayong gagawin dito. So gagawin ko dito is gusto ko siyang i-filter itong array na to. So paano? So gagamit tayo ng JavaScript array function, which is yung filter. So to do's that filter, in which this one, and then I will say here to do, and then I will say here to do that ID, no, ID is not equal to ID, and then okay, and then I will return it. So ano ibig sabihin nito? Okay. So yung to-dos, which is yung array natin, which is this one, yung mga laman yan, gusto kong i-filter mo siya. And then yung filter na yun, nag-accept siya ng function na gano'n, no? And then yung to do, yung individual items sa may array na yun. Just like dito sa part na to, parang gano'n lang din yan. Or tsaka gano'n. Or hindi pala, parang sa may map, no? Sa may map. So to do. And then function siya, another function siya na nag-return ng condition. So sa gusto kong i-filter mo yung array na yon based on this particular condition, in which gusto kong i-filter out mo lahat ng to do na hindi equal dito, in which this particular code will return a new array din. And then yung filtered out na array na yon, siya yung may store dun sa to do's. Okay, ulitin ko. So to do's that filter is similar, parang ganun lang siya, which is a JavaScript function nung array, and then it accept a function as well, just like this one, yung map. Diba nag-accept siya ng function. And then meron tayong access sa individual items ng array na yun, which is yung to do. And then we must return a condition, no? In which yung condition na magpapa-filter out dun sa array na yun. So in this one, lahat gusto kong i-filter out mo lahat ng to do na hindi equal sa ID na yun, na pinasa natin dito. So that's why when we run this code, okay, refresh natin, antayin to do, maraming to do. Let's say eat, sleep, code, I don't know, burnout. Kidding, again, eat, sleep, code, I don't know, procrastinate, something. Okay, so eat, sleep, code. So that's why kapag dinilit ko to, boom, nawala yung procrastinate, diba? Kasi yung ID niya is unique, no? And nagmatch siya dito. So that's why dun napaka-importante ng role na to ng key. And then yung ID na yun, yung uniqueness nilang dalawa. Kasi sa mga operations na kagaya na to, 'di ba? Kasi kung wala yung key na yun, malaki yung chance na na magkaroon ka ng bugs. But yeah, gusto mo na siya i-emphasize na for every list, i-ano natin siya, i-apply natin siya. For example, tong it, I can delete that, I can delete those, and I can delete this as well. And I can add again, and again, and again. I can, type other bunch of stuff in here. And I can just delete this particular to do na walang kahirap-hirap. So yeah, that's the application, no? So napaka-importante ng purpose ng key. Again, I want to give emphasis on this key. And then yung mga natin, no, yung mga ginamit nating functions for array manipulations. So yeah, I hope meron kayong natutunan. Any questions so far? May gusto ba kayong parang gusto nyo ipaulit ko about sa stuff na yan? Kasi ito kasi, no, bigyan ko kayo na example na. Ako dati nung based on my personal story din kasi, ako din dati nag-start ako ng React, hindi ko rin ginagamit ng key. Even though magkakaroon ka dito ng warning dito sa browser mo na yung kaninang dimang warning na yung sa key, 'di ba? Let's say kapag tinanggal ko to, or hindi, wag tanggal, kinamit out ko siya, and then naglagay ka ng bagong 'di ba, yung mga warning na yan. Kapag itong application natin na to is dineploy natin siya, ito okay lang to gagana pa rin yung application natin, no? Pero expect mo na yung bugs sa production kapag naka-upload siya. So ayun, napaka-importante nito, no? And then ano ba yung gusto kong bigyan ng emphasis dito? Yung paggamit ng mga wrapper functions. This one, yung handle, yung yan, in which hindi ko kayo ina-advise na ilagay dito yung actual logic, yung actual body na ginagawa, no? Kasi mahirap siya i-debug So mas maganda yung ganitong klase ng way ng paggawa, mas malinis siya, no? And then ito kasi, kaya ako siya hindi ginawang ganito, ganyan. And then ginawa ko siyang ganun kasi nga, isa siyang prop na gagamitin dito sa part na yon. Okay? In which, kapag pinasok siya, hindi naman dapat mag-run ka agad yung code na yun, yung function na yun. So, ang ginawa ko dito is, pinasok ko sa kanya yung reference ng function na yun. In which, pag dumating siya dito, kinik ko yung delete button na yun, mag-run siya, no? So, yun yung concept niya. Ano pa yung gusto kong bigyan ng emphasis dito? Again, yung uniqueness. Again, hindi lang ID. So, depende sa klase ng application na ginagawa niya. For example, again, isa siyang blockchain application. And let's say this particular array, ang represent niya is yung lahat ng blockchain transaction ng isang particular block na yun na ni-keep track nyo, no? So, pwede nang gamitin yung hash. Anything na any property na gagawing distinguishable yung isang component na yun for the sake of this key, no? So, yun yung gusto kong bigyan ng emphasis, at least. And then, if we run this code, so wala kang errors, you are free to do so, anything. And then, there's stuff in here. You can delete this as well. So yeah, that's our application. Any questions so far? Introduce and filter, okay. Sige, explain ko ulit. Okay. Introduce at filter, no? So, ibig sabihin na itong function na to. Introduce that filter. Introduce yung array. And gustong i-filter out siya. Okay, yung filter na function na yun, tumatanggap siya ng isa pang function na mag-run. In which, this function will return a condition para ma-filter out yung function na yun, ay yung array na yun, in this one. In which, in this case, ang sabi ko dito, lahat ng to do na hindi equal dun sa ID na yun na pinasa ko, siya yung i-filter out mo. And then, i-return mo siya as a new array. Kasi ito kasi parang ginawa natin dito sa part na to. Hindi. Sa part na to. Diba ito? Sige, ibahin ko yung code natin. Wait na. Instead na ganyan. Ganito na lang para hindi na nakakalito. Yan. Ay, wait. Wala ako. Wait lang. Nawala. Apologies. Para mas madali. Yan. So again. So gagana yan, no? Gagana yan. So I will refresh this again. Then okay na, no? So basically, ano to? I-filter out mo yung array na yun based on this particular condition. And then this particular code is mag-return siya ng bagong array na filtered na. So yun yung pinaka-idea, no? ng filter. So parang ginawa ni Kirby, no? So ayun yung ano. So basically yung ibig sabihin ng ganito is yung hindi equal. Ito kasi iba kasi font ko yun, but basically yan siya. Tsaka yun, no? Iba lang yung font na nagamit ko, but yeah, same lang sila ng concept na not equal. So yeah, any questions so far? Yung that map na function is basically to iterate, no, yung array na yon, in which kung i-iterate natin siya, meron tayong access dun sa individual elements na yon ng array na yon, in which ang mangyayari doon, ano yung pwede mong gawin based on that particular element. This time, mag-display ka ng to-do component na may lamang to-do. So, So ito siya, no? So pag nag-add ako ng maraming dulo dito, dumadami yung laman nun. Nung state na yun. Yung state na yun. And then, yeah. That's the idea. So kailangan mo siya i-map out. Basically, to loop through. So yeah, that's the idea. So tama yung sinabi ni Sir KB. So yan. I-filter out mo yung array in which mag-return siya ng bagong array na hindi match dun sa condition sa ID na yun. Kaya normal siya. Normal yung burnout, ay yung imposter syndrome. Hindi ko na naman questions na. So yeah. Siguro next for future, no? Aralin naman kung paano integrate sa TypeScript. So we can build this, we can make this as a full stack application. Let's say, you know, we can use different frameworks like T3JS and other stuff. So yeah, I think wala naman silang questions again. So we can finish this session. I will stop sharing my screen now. Thank you, Renzo. So yeah, and guys, no, thank you for attending this session. Yeah.
Ayun. Tapos na siya.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, stop streaming.
Guys, for ReactJS natin. Hopefully guys, marami kayong ayan, Mernion. Di ba guys, magagawa tayo ng Mernion ngayon? Sinong magiging calculated doon guys? Ano na?
Ako na.
Ikaw na pre. Ikaw yung mukha admin ha. Ayan, Mernion na pangalan. Mernion. Yan. Mernion. Para minion. Para lahat ng members, Mernions, di ba?
Alright.
Mernions. Ayan.
Ulitin mo
Tapos, yeah, so hopefully guys, sa announcements, check nyo. So, again, sa announcements, kasi nag-announce kasi si Pao regarding sa UI UX. So, ayun na kindly send na lang din the feedback form pala Newfangle for the attendance. React Nation free. Ayan. Ayan, so sa Mernion, no? Although ito din, bubuhayin din natin to yung channels and i-search na yung select this. Yung React na ecosystem. So, select that para lumitaw sa inyo yung mga React channels natin. So, marami din nagtatanong doon, marami din sumasagot doon. If you ask their question, so, yeah, it's gonna be the house for, the Discord home for Mern yun, no? Pagkagawa tayo ng Facebook group. Ayan, so hopefully marami mag-volunteer who's gonna be the admin, and sino yung gagawa ng design. So, ganun kasi yung ginawa natin for the other calls, no? Para
Yeah.
magkaroon naman sila ng mukha.
Mm.
And then, yeah, so, ito rin pala. Sa announcements natin, sa November 8, we're going to have